My name is Kenny Bontz and I'm a golfer. And my goal is in 2 years to be on the Senior PGA Tour. But yeah, you're missing 2 joints now, so I'm missing a knee and an ankle. So I don't think of it like that. I have to swing a golf club. What can I do to make it most realistic? A motto I live by is live life without limitations. Although you have ailments, maybe not missing a limb, but something else might be wrong with you that nobody can see, you gotta break through the barriers, you gotta do it. No one holds you back but yourself. Well, if you're on a plane and you're next to 2 big guys, you could always just take a nap on it. You could always put a drink on it. Moral of the story is if you can't have fun with it, you shouldn't have done it. You know, so you gotta have fun with it and get laughs at it.
I guess you haven't met Kenny yet if you don't know how he stands out.
I get a lot of looks. People always see me. I mean, when I played in South Africa, they called me the guy from the U.S., the tattooed Mohawk guy. I mean, not everyone is given a golden hand in life. Misdiagnosed with osteomyelitis. They saw the tumor inside the bone at that point. We're told I had Ewing sarcoma. But every surgery I got every 2-3 years, it just got more and more intense, the pain. You know, I was up to 80 Vicodin a day. So I decided to take the leg off, then went back and told my family.
And he was a happy child. And he was very, very active from the time he was little. He could kick a ball without falling down like no other kid I ever knew.
When I was young, I'm a brittle diabetic, is what's the word they use. My blood sugars go from 400 to 30. I was always so concerned with playing sports that I would give a shot of insulin and forget to eat. Once that insulin is in your body, it's looking for food. If you don't have it, you're out cold. He told me that I was going to work with him. My father was a pressman for I think 42 years or 44 years. I was the 4th generation. His father did it, his great-grandmother did it. When trucks would come in with web rolls, they were like 3,000-pound rolls of paper. A buddy of mine that I worked with would unload them with the clamp truck and he'd roll them to me, and you put them on a board, you spin them, it goes down another row to a guy in another clamp truck, and they stack them. Well, I was trying to do 2 things at once, and I was getting chemicals out of a 50-gallon drum against a concrete wall, and he dropped the 3,000-pound roll, and I never saw it coming, and it crushed me into a wall. I went in for an x-ray to see if I had broke anything or tore something. He did a biopsy, and he misdiagnosed me with osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection. I got up after a month, they said I was good to go, and I walked from my bedroom to the kitchen, and my knee blew back up bigger than it ever was. And we went back in, they took another biopsy, and they took a window out of my tibia, which is probably like that, a piece of bone, and they saw the tumor inside the bone at that point.
And that's when he started having a lot of trouble with the leg, and that was a tough time then.
And I called my dad that night, and I'm not one to show emotion at all, and I was hysterical because I'm like, something's not right. So they all came back up in the morning, and they were told I had Ewing sarcoma. Ewing sarcoma is a bone cancer found in adolescents, younger children. But being a diabetic, my chances to beat it weren't the best. I was a fighter at that point, and I just said, when do we start? What do we have to do? I went down to Sloan Kettering, latched on to Dr. Paul Myers, and my guy saved my life. I had 3 chemo cycles, then I had the 1 surgery where they took my tibia out of my leg, put a cadaver bone in. I was non-weight bearing for about a year, and then I finished out the clean out cycles of chemotherapy, and then I was able to walk. So I started coaching little kids in soccer, and a kid kicked me in my shin. I played soccer my whole life. Kid kicked me in my shin and broke the bone. Dead bone, it won't heal, they gotta redo it. So they took me back in, did it again, and when they went to close my leg, they couldn't because it was too swollen, so I had to cut my femur head off. That's why they gave me, then they gave me an artificial knee replacement with the tibia allograft, 13-hour surgery. Yeah, I mean, I went from doing everything to doing nothing. They more or less told me to walk on eggshells, and after my 2nd operation, I told my surgeon I'm not gonna do it. I always pushed the envelope, so to speak, and I just started doing whatever I want to do. Race motocross, broke it. Playing golf, broke it. Biggest tournament I ever got into, I broke it on the 13th hole, and I was probably in 2nd place. I was 2 under par, and I hit a shot. My caddy was with me. He watched it go to the green, and then I looked down, and he looked at him, and he threw up. I looked down, and the stem of the artificial knee was sticking out the side of my leg. So I always took pain medication after my surgeries, but every surgery I got every 2-3 years, it just got more and more intense, the pain, because my leg was like a bone wrapped in skin. You know, I was up to 80 Vicodin a day for about 6 years. I just I woke up one day and made a decision that I can't live like this anymore because of the path I was on. And I mean, my biggest thing probably was I had 53 employees that looked at me to make decisions, and I was high as a kite and I couldn't do it. I just hit it well, I guess, but you get good at that. I mean, that's what being an addict is all about, I guess. So I decided to take the leg off. I went and told my surgeon, and then went back and told my family.
We were having dinner, sitting at the table, and he told my wife and I that he was getting ready to amputate his leg, and I told him absolutely not. I got up from the table and went in my bedroom and just cried.
I went into the hospital that morning, 2 days later that morning, to get it done, and they prepped me for about an hour, and it took 15 minutes to take the leg off.
To the diabetes, and then to get the cancer, and then have the amputation. It was a very difficult time for everybody. You can't stand to watch your kids suffer like that.
In recovery, I had a dilated drip in my arm because of the pain that I was going to face. And at that moment, I took that drip out of my arm. The nurse came in and she's like, you know, we got to put that back in. I'm like, no, I'm done. The day I had my surgery to take my leg off is the last time any ounce of a drug entered my veins. I just stopped cold turkey that day and I never looked back. Kind of took it off right above the knee joint, about 2 inches above the knee joint, which is beneficial for me with golf because I have pretty much my proximal thigh.
The things that we do on a day-to-day basis that we take for granted, you know, would normally be a struggle for someone in Kenny's position. Just from getting out of bed to getting in the shower, the day-to-day daily tasks that we overlook, you know, where he succeeds.
I went to play in a tournament to see how guys walked around the golf course, how they dealt with it. There are a lot of below the knees were there, but that's not what I have. It's different. But what I learned going to these tournaments, amputee tournaments, is it's like a peer group. And every issue you have, somebody's had it. So now I'm that guy that younger guys come up to now, and you can talk to them, and it's good. I've played in hundreds of tournaments, yeah, all around the world. I've won tournaments in Australia, third in Sweden in one. I finished third twice in South Africa, amputee tournaments. The biggest one since I've been an amputee is New Jersey. I qualified, it was an able-bodied tournament, which I was the only amputee. Then I won my first match. I beat somebody that was one of the best players in the state.
Kenny is a competitor as fierce as anyone I've ever seen, and I played a lot of golf in my life. If anybody I want over a 10-foot putt for a match, it would definitely be Kenny Bontz.
I don't play like I'm an amputee player, but I want people to see it because I think it would be great for people to see somebody that has an issue in life and is able, look what he's able to do. My goal now is to help people. So if I could get on a national level or a world level to help a young kid that might be struggling with something, maybe that's my place now. Maybe that's why I'm here. I'm currently 48, and in 2 years, I plan on playing on the PGA Senior Tour. I'm on the platform or getting there where I could really help so many people. I'm not talking one person. My goal is to help one person. I could help thousands. I could help millions of people if I was able to achieve something like that.
I've yet to see Kenny set his sights on a target and miss. Whether it was from battling cancer to learning how to golf again with one leg, which is amazing unto itself.
There's about 500 entries that go into trying to get on the senior tour. They take 1%, which is 5 players. That being said, they also have like an exemption rule, which is like I think 32 or 22 players that make it on top of the 5, and then they have their waiting list. If people don't play, then they get in. My goal is not to be one of those 22. I want to be one of the 5.
You know, you have a guy who literally isn't going to put in the work. Yeah, I've seen him do it. I've seen him spend hours on the putting green. I've seen him spend hours at the range beating balls.
And I think that once, though, you know, he gets into the granularity of what he's trying to do and work out the specific issues and any flaws he may have had can only bring him to another level.
There's a lot more to it than just, playing golf. A good golfer that's out there has a team behind them. No one does it on their own. It's an impossible sport to do on your own. And the more people that get behind me, the faster it's going to go and the more it's going to succeed. There are tools I need over the next 2 years to get me to the level I need to be at. The first one being equipment. Secondly, I need my coaches. Thirdly is relocating down here. Fourth is my body. I mean, if I have these things in order, the rest is up to me to just make it happen. Clubs that I play are Titleist TMBs, and I love them, but I need to get the shafts tweaked and make sure that they're right for me. I need my 2 coaches with me all the time, and I'm excited because my teachers told me he can drop my score, 8 to 10 shots. You'll be in the hunt and everything you played in, if not win it. I've put myself in a place in Orlando because that's where I can play 7 days a week. I need a trainer, Pilates instructor, yoga instructor. The thinner I get and the more stretched I get, the more I'm able to turn. And I have a little problem turning now because I really don't have a left side. It's just not having that knee joint where my leg, most guys can come through and torque on that and their foot will rotate a little. Mine torques and it doesn't. There's different types of amputees. There's below the knee, which is missing your ankle joint. There's an AK above the knee now, so I'm missing a knee and an ankle, so it's a lot harder. But the way my mind works, I don't think of it like that. I have to swing a golf club. What can I do to make it most realistic? My leg guy now, Chris, Prosthetics in Motion, he actually had the ankle company make one that rotates. So I can actually show you. So you can see it. You can have more of a natural movement, so to speak. I started with a Malk hydraulic leg. I then went to what's called a C leg. I went to a Rio knee, back to a C leg, and then I'm on to the Genium. If I have to go into water to hit a shot, I can't do it. So it's a 2-stroke penalty.
He currently has a Genium microprocessor knee, but the X3 takes it to the next level. This microprocessor knee was designed for the military and is 100% waterproof and is excellent for the elements.
The leg I have now costs about 240 grand with all the components in it. And my ankle and foot are like a special design. But over the years, I'm probably well over $3 million in legs. And entry fees are much more. I mean, it's just, you have to be on the cutting edge of everything, and that's why I need sponsorships, I need donations, because that's how I'm gonna be able to do that. The biggest hurdle I have is actually asking people to donate, asking people to support me. So all the donations that come in are gonna go straight to my CPA.
The trust fund is normally set up to, if we have a goal, we want to achieve a purpose. Any expenditure, any reimbursement of an expenditure has to be documented with a receipt, verifiable, and then reimbursed for that need.
His grit and determination are second to none.
I'm all in with this. I'm taking the next 2 years to practice to get my game where it needs to be. And what happened here is great. Being a diabetic, having cancer, getting through that, and being successful as I am, I think it speaks for itself.
I mean, can you just see it now, coming down the back nine in a final of a senior PGA tour, and there's Kenny Bontz, with one leg, making the final round, and the stories that could be told, and the amount of exposure that could be had. Overall, I think it's a win-win scenario for anybody who wants to get involved now, and I would recommend they do it immediately.
Where I'm at in life right now, I don't have any excuses anymore. My leg isn't an issue for me. My addictions weren't an issue for me. Now I am so focused on getting to my next phase in life and making that senior PGA Tour, nothing's going to stop me. Sometimes you're given bad cards. You have to play them out. And, sometimes you want to fold them up and put them in, but you can't do it. That's just not the way it works. If you stay the course, you'll get good cards. You'll trade some bad ones in and get good ones, and that way you can achieve your goals, no matter what they are. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my story. If you or anyone you know want to donate to this cause, please visit my website.